to Truth to Power, and my name is Beverly D. And today, Wednesday, and every Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my host, Ron March, joins me, and he always comes with a lot of knowledgeable information. It's like a history class. This is information that we were not taught in school, and so we were miseducated. And so this is your opportunity to get some education here and to also ask questions. Now, this evening we're going to be talking about the Five Civilized Tribes and the Dawes Roll. And so Ron March is going to get into that. He's going to explain exactly what that is about. He's running a little late this evening, but he will be joining us shortly. And in the meantime, I have some music here from some local talent. And so I'm going to let you listen to some of this local music here out of the Detroit, Michigan area while we are waiting on Ron March. So listen and be patient, and I shall return shortly.
It's a lot going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from the bottom up to the top of this cold, cold world. It's a lot going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from the bottom up to the top in this cold, cold world.
I got a lot of confessions, young boy getting arrested. My pops and mom stressing, thank God I learned my lesson. Back and forth to church, can't live my life doing dirt. So Father send me a message, I'm ready to do your work. Tired of doing bad deeds and hustling on the turf. Homies killing homies for nothing, they living life without work. Wind up dead or in jail, either heaven or hell. So pray and get on your knees, cause only time will tell.
Wild boys, running rapping in the streets with two left feet, incomplete, missing the beat, feeling the heat. What's beef when niggas creep 30 deep? They don't sleep, peeping the scenery, pockets full of greenery, cemetery, Hail Mary, shell shock baits. The world going crazy, can't seem to shake it off. These bullets ain't lazy, they get to spitting out. I mean super hairy shots, clear your block. What's going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from the bottom up to the top of this cold, cold world. It's a lot going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from the bottom up to the top in this cold, cold world. Cold times, cold mind, colder than a cold rhyme. Caught a cold standing out in the cold blind. Homeless in the cold world from a cold dime. Had the cold cock a bitch nigga for stealing cold rhymes. People's minds, souls, hearts colder than cold ice. Repetitive cold crimes, nearly led to cold time. Rather be in the Bahamas sipping cold ties, or in this book spitting truth, laying these cold lines.
Wicked city of bad things, a lot of nightmares, been awakened by bad dreams. So it seems the D seen a lot of bloodshed in the abandoned houses, that why my people's walking dead. Now last night I shook hands with a dead man. His body was cold, yet dressed and wore a headband. Walked with a cane, a slight limp in his leg. A book to the game, he turned to me and he said, it's a lot going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from the bottom up to the top of this cold, cold world. It's a lot going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from the bottom up to the top in this cold, cold world. Stuck inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and unable to keep my head stable, like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and unable to keep my head stable, like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and unable to keep my head stable, like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder thunder and lightning, and I'm able to keep my head stable.
Like got me spinning like a tornado.
Stuck inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and I'm able to keep my head stable. Like got me spinning like a tornado. Trapped since birth, had me mama, she held caution, fighting for my life, concealed self, losing another kid, trying my hardest to get out. I couldn't see death, climbed out a womb,
opened my eyes and took my first breath.
She was so happy, all I could see was the white teeth that she held me tightly
in her arms, cause now I'm free.
But now I'm older, recognize things on the streets, seeing the peeps with nowhere to sleep, saying they hungry, holding up signs. Every day, up on the corner, people pass, they honk their horns and laugh. Our family warns about days like this, always said, get an education, this is what you be facing. Say goodbye to the dreams you're chasing, but there's still hope. Don't stop now, you can achieve in order to succeed.
You have to believe it's indeed.
Stuck inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and I'm able to keep my head stable. Like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and I'm able to keep my head stable. Like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and I'm able to keep my head stable. Like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and I'm able to keep my head stable.
Like got me spinning like a tornado.
Police sirens, gunshots, they calling back up. Warned you by talking this shit, you getting clapped up. Short fuse and sociopathic, we put the act up. Told you you can't come close, you got to back up. A nuclear chemical reaction, you getting jacked up. Dangerous schemes we admit, you throwing black up. Bile coming out of your throat, you trying to ask what
possibly you could even do to save your ass.
But your life is flashing before your eyes is turning black. But your spirit preparing to lift, in your throat that's crackle. Everything turning so black, you lost the battle. Guess that's the price you pay, you fucking asshole.
Give me your soul. Give me your soul.
Give me your soul for the riches, you bitches.
Thunder and lightning, and I'm able to keep my head stable. Like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and I'm able to keep my head stable. Like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and I'm able to keep my head stable. Like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and I'm able to keep my head stable.
Like got me spinning like a tornado.
Greetings and welcome to the Truth to Power Show. And my name is Beverly D. And as you know, here in the northeast area of the United States, we have been in a storm, and so we are still digging out of the storm that we had here. And so my co-host will be joining us very shortly, and he will be talking about the 5 Civilized Tribes. And so, as always, he has very informative information, things that we need to know at this time. And so while I'm waiting on my co-host, which will be joining us in a few minutes, I'm playing some music. The 2 songs that you just heard are from local talents in the Detroit, Michigan area. And I'm going to play African Love.
Yes, I, Rastafari, I love Jah make the blind man see, jump up and feel irie. He make the lame man walk, make all the dumb start talk. That they may all be one, as thou have a heart in eye, and eye in the eye. That they may also be one in eye and eye, that the world may know and believe that thou hast sent I. And the glory which thou gavest unto I and I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one. I and them, and thou and I, that they may be made perfect in oneness, and that the world may know that thou hast sent I, and hast loved them, even as thou hast loved the I. Ready or not, you're gonna get a shot of this good red hot black African love. Step on the scene, and them heart pure and clean, ice cold and green, black African love. Ready or not, you're gonna get a shot of this good red hot black African love. Don't be so mean, your love is pure and clean. Oh Lord, it make the sick get well, redeem the wicked from hell, to make a deaf man hear, I'll make the careless start kill. Oh Lord, come now up people, let's gather near and listen well clear in the words that I and I, Rastaman, I've come to sing to you. You know that the times that truth must prevail. World is weeping and a wailing to your national peace, them gonna end. And that will come on you and you and you too. So, if you're ready or not, gonna get a shot of this good red hot black African love. Dead upon the sea, but don't be so mean. Ice gold and green and black African love. Come to the beach, get away from the beach. Let's head to the east, black African love. Don't be so mean, keep your hands and heart pure and clean. It make the blind man see and see. Jump up and feel Irie. Come make the lame man walk.
Greetings. Super Power Show. And my co-host, Ron March of the RonMarchShow.com. Mr. March, are you with us?
Yes, ma'am, I am with you. And it's easier to get to my website with just Ron March Show. Do not do the .com. Just Ron March Show. Google it or Yahoo.
Okay, Ron March Show.
That's it. Yes.
Okay, all righty. Well,
Yep.
Tonight, as always, Ron, every week you give us some valuable history lessons, valuable information. So tonight we're going to be talking about the Five Civilized Tribes.
Yes. I would advise all of the listeners to pull down the shades, lock the doors, because I'm going to frighten them tonight with this new history as to who we are, where we come from, and what we're about. And I don't mean that jokingly, seriously, because this information is so heavy, Beverly. I don't think they'll be able to grasp it tonight. We're going to have to do a part 2 next week, but we'll decide that later. But we'll do a part 2 and let them call in, because this is some heavy. All right?
Well, you know, Ron, you hit kind of hard, so don't hurt us.
Yeah, I know, but my method of madness is to get your attention, and I do that by giving you raw truth. I don't, I can't, I can't short stop this stuff.
Yeah,
it's just too much information, and we don't have a lot of time to get it. So, as a result of that, I just lay it out there. And I always say, go look it up. I'll tell you where to go. Don't believe me. Call me a lie. And I know you're going to do that tonight. Because I'm going to rock your socks off tonight. Because I gave it in my class. I did this in my class yesterday, and the students bonkers. They said, and I gave them I do it for them in class with the information, whereas your listeners are going to have to go get it, unless they email me and I'll send it to them.
Okay, now, before we get started, for the people that is in the Detroit area, where is your class?
My class is in Highland Park, on Woodward, between Glendale and Davison. And every Tuesday at 6 p.m., I have a class from 6 to 8. And I have approximately 40 students that are every week they show up. And I try to hurt them. I don't take prisoners. I like to say that. I don't take prisoners. So whatever I can do to help you, educate you, do. Okay?
Well, we ready.
Everybody's ready.
Yeah.
Okay. I will suggest that you get a piece of paper and I want 4 columns. I want you to set up for 4 columns on a piece of paper, because you're going to have to look this up, because you're not going to believe this. You're going to call me the craziest man on the planet when I get through with you tonight. Because this stuff is so heavy. When I talk about it, people look at me like, where did you get that? So let's get started. I want the first column to be titled Iroquois Confederation. The second column, I want Powhatan Confederation. That's P as in Paul,
Okay.
P as in Paul, O as in Opal, W as in Wachino, H as in house, T as in Tom, A as in apple, N as in Negro. It's called Powhatan.
Okay.
All right. Now the next column, I want General Custer. And the last column, I want Colonel Shivington. Chivington. C is in Charlie, H is in house, I is in idea, N as in Negro, G as in golf, T as in Tom, O as in opal, and N as in Negro once again. Colonel Shivington.
Okay.
All right, we ready to go. Now, I'm going to drop these bombs, and we're going to go from the bomb. That's the only way I can give you this. Number 1, the Civil War, as you were taught, never existed.
Oh, my God. Another lie.
Another tremendous lie. Never existed. All right? Number 2, all of the wars that they tried to glamorize from Hollywood with the Civil War, such as Gettysburg, Appomattox, whatever, all that trash, those were court decisions. Those were battles in court. That's it. Now, if you go to your Black Laws Dictionary and look up battle, talk about legal confrontations. All right? If you go and look up Indian fighter, you'll find that there were a multitude of wars. Hundreds of wars, slaughters by the Europeans and the Buffalo Soldiers. Let's not leave them punks out. To wipe out the black race of Moors. Now,
wait a minute, Ron, before you get started, the Buffalo Soldiers, they flying?
Yes. They started out as a helpful unit of the, I hate to call them the Union Army, but let's call them the Europeans, to guide them into the black nations to kill black folks. They were not necessarily started with that premise, but the bottom line is they ended up with that premise. Buffalo Soldiers were the enemies, major enemies to black America. Number 3, I'm just dropping bombs before I even start the presentation. Number 3, there is no such thing on this earth as an Indian. Whoa, that one. It don't exist. They created that in order to hide the bloodshed and the murder and the rape of our ancestors, women, and children. Okay? Now, let's get started. 1860,
61, 62, 63, 64, 65 were some of the most bloody battles in American history from the Indian fighter perspective. And they try to make you believe that they were fighting way out west, but they were not. There was a lot of laws passed prior to 1860, especially the law of 1836, when they started the removal of black people that were in the southern Black Delta area, all in the South. If you look up Trail of Tears, this is when in Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi areas, the European settlers pushed not all, 90% of all the blacks out and told them to get the hell out, and they walked from that southern territory all the way to Oklahoma territory. Now, we're not talking about Oklahoma as a state. We're talking about Oklahoma as a territory, which would be a confederation of our people who ran that area out there. We have to understand when the European talks about territories, that's his term for confederations. The Civil War in the books that they taught you was Union Army and which was against the Graycoats, never, ever existed. What was happening was the Powhatan Confederation. All blackies fought the Iroquois Confederation, all blackies. And they had a discrepancy in Congress because the Powhatan wanted the Europeans to have some of our ritual rights, like our land. And they were never in the Constitution. Even today, the European can never, ever own land in the United States, the Western Hemisphere. Cannot! That's why he used those little phony deeds, warranty deeds. They use titles, they use certificates. Never will they give you an allodial title, which gives you pure ownership of land. Because they can't do it, and the government that they set up can never, ever do it.
What do you call that?
So when they
what do you call that?
Allodial. A-L-L-O-D-I-A-L. Allodial title. It's not in most dictionaries. So you got to do some real serious search. And the first thing they're going to say when you find it, it's not in the United States. And they're right. Because they're talking about United States of America, not the United States of the original Constitution. That's why we must create our own nationality so we can get back to the original Constitution. They had in 1861, they had I'll be guessing if I try and label the number of the legislation in the Senate and the House in 1861. But when the Powhatan showed up and the Iroquois Confederation showed up, there was a huge battle in Congress. And part of the Iroquois Confederation, there was a tribe called the Mohawks. And the Mohawks said they wanted to side with, and I shouldn't say that because I'm not sure, but whatever teed off the Mohawks, they got up in Congress, which left less than a quorum, so they couldn't continue. If anybody knows anything about Robert's Rules of Order, You know what a quorum is. Once the Mohawks walked out, Congress shut down. It's been shut down ever since 1861. There has never been a real congressional hearing of Congress since 1861. Unbelievable. Now, the Powhatan, they were friendly. Listen to me carefully. They were hunky-dory with the Europeans. But the Europeans trying to get a toehold and take what did not belong to them, they kidnapped Pocahontas. And they held her captive as a bargaining chip to release some European settlers that the Powhatan had captured. But the worst thing of all, and I'm saying this with a clear heart of love, freedom, and peace, Pocahontas turned into a Christian. She came back to the Powhatan and began to teach Christianity, and the Europeans sucked in all of the Powhatan Christians and started creating what we know today as the Five Civilized Tribes.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And if you look up the Five Civilized Tribes, they tell you right off the bat, these were friendly natives to the Europeans. Sister, when I went into this, my ears, I jumped up from the table. I said, Lord, let me get out of here. Walked outside. I said, whoa, this is too heavy. So now we got the Iroquois very upset. They have a court battles going on to steal the land. The laws of Moors are, number one, you cannot have sex with Europeans or other race. And you know we lied and cheating when that happened. So once they created the colored baby, known as today mulatto, the black daddies and black mamas wanted the mulattoes to have all of the rights as the Moors. And the Iroquois said, there's going to be some bloodshed if that go down the pike. So all of this went into what I know, and you're going to study, the massacre of black people. They didn't name Niagara Falls is not named because of some type of historical bunch of crap. Niagara Falls is named Niagara because they killed niggers. And they call it Niagara Falls. They said the water was so red that it looked like jello or whatever you want to call it, coming over the falls. They killed the women because the women were the only owners of the land. Grandma in y'all family, everybody out there listening, Grandma had the big stick. She told your daddy what to do. And her cat pump was. She didn't waste no time. What Granny said worked because we come from a matriarch culture. When the Europeans showed up, he come in with a patriarch culture.
Right.
So the first thing they had to do was to trick us, which would be the Confederation, the Iroquois, because they were in the New York, come down south, and go across the bottom. That's where that nation was. Now, when I say Iroquois nation, I'm talking about thousands and thousands of Indians, quote-unquote, black folks, that had all types of subtitles. The Iroquois Confederation only consisted of, I did my class last night, I knocked their socks off when I did. Woo! They went to screaming. I said, shut up. They only labeled 5 tribes, and then they labeled them nations. The Seminole, Crete, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Chickasaw, and Cherokee. Now you know and I know what happened to the Apache, what happened to the Cheyennes, what happened to the, I can't call them all. There was hundreds of others, but they came under these nations once the European labeled them Five Civilized Tribes. They had to hide from us because we're here today. They had to hide from us what they did in order to take the land. But they're still under the original, hear me clear, Constitution, which was the original contract to let them chumps come in here. If you understand it, you know why we're in a bind. You know why they created people like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, all the way down the line that praises them and keep us in the Negro mentality. Because there's no such thing as a Negro. We'll never learn our history as long as we're labeled Negroes. And he, European, can do anything he wants to his citizens because he labeled them 14th Amendment citizens. Now, what would come under a 14th Amendment citizen? I'll start out kind of nice and say, I can't be nice. Negro, colored, black, all of the names that they can make up and give to us, we are automatically, through what they call acquiescent contract, become that. Because we never thought it. Because we didn't know what they was doing. So once they took over everything as a mirage now, they didn't take it over because all of it's fictitious. But once they made you believe that they were all over the place, you just said, hell with it. I'm a Negro, I'm a colored, I'm a black. So I ain't gonna argue about it. If you don't declare yourself, you'll always be in bondage. I can't say that loud enough. Lady asked me last night, she said, Mr. March, what advantage will it be if we do have a nationality? The only reason I saved her life, because that was her first day. So I said to her, every move they make, they have to go through. Oh, it just dawned on me. Another citizen in the 14th Amendment is a straw man. So let's just start with Negro, colored, black, Afro-American, African-American, nigger, straw man. Europeans are straw men. Black people are straw men. They got you all in this mirage of nothing but hocus pocus trick bag. So that means they can do anything they want to do to this bag because it belongs to them. And anyone that moves when they call your name, you're a part of it. Now, write this word down. E-N, let me see. It ain't spelled like this, but it's close enough. N-S. First word. Second word, L-E-G-I-S. Look it up. It's going to tell you that it's a contrast of a natural person and sounds like the natural person, but it's not. It's a contrast. So when they say Ron March, I want to know, who is Ron March? All caps or upper and lower caps? You kind of get it? Everybody listening, all your driver's license, insurance policies, all letters from the corporation, they all come in all capital letters. You ain't never thought about it. You say, oh, they must have made a mistake. If I was close to you, I'd cold cock you. They ain't made no mistake. All of their typewriters and computers are all labeled all caps, so they don't make a mistake. They can't type out a letter on their computer that make it upper and lower cap. Is it all caps? Why? Because it's a fictitious entity. Negro, a fictitious entity. Colored, fictitious entity. Straw man, fictitious entity that never existed. It only comes when they call you and you say, oh, yeah, boss, I'm here. What's up? The Five Civilized Tribes is a term applied to 5 American Indians, a.k.a. Native Americans. How can the Indian be a Native American? Where did he come from? How was he here before us? He was not. They created that trash to confuse you and put it in your book, and y'all believe it. But you never looked at it from another perspective. The nations, Cherokee, Chickasaw, and Seminole, they were considered civilized by white society because they had adopted many of the colonialist customs and had generally good relations with their neighbors. Who in the hell? Listen to me.
It still goes on today.
Yes. Yes.
Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson are the Buffalo Soldiers.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. You catch it on. They know it. They know it. And they will fight you tooth and nail so that you don't understand, and they'll give you, I like to call them Negro pundits, because they're very educated through keeping you baffled into the Negro. And if you don't know what I know, they'll get you every time. I heard a guy call up and talk about nationality, and when Charleston got through with it, he wanted to go to church on Sunday and pray to Jesus. They're good in what they do. They are professionals in what they do. But if you don't have the base as to who you are, you're going to have a problem. Okay?
Now,
the 5 civilized... Go ahead.
Now, someone in the chat room is saying that Oklahoma and the Florida Seminole tribes never signed a treaty with the U.S.
Okay. I'll agree. But did he take it another, did they, whoever that was, did they take another step? Why did they not sign? Somebody must have signed because they put them in the nation. The Europeans said, if you help us kill your brothers and sisters, those ones that cause problems, the ones that got their pants on their butt, the ones that wear their hat backwards, the ones that wear all them emblems on their shirt, all of them troublemakers, if you help turn them in and help us kill them, we will put you in a luxurious area and feed you free the rest of your life, send you to schools, give you plenty of whiskey. And that's where the Indian, so ask that person, where them Indian reservations come from? They must have signed something.
Well, he said that, this person says that they became independent of the other group and established their own identity.
All right. Where are they at today? Ask him that. See, he's listening. Where are they? Why are we out here in the open being terrorized every day by that European? And these people, I don't know if you're trying to put them on a positive level or whatever, but it seems like if they were, that's us. I ain't gonna say no more. Whoever didn't sign are niggas. Now, take that. Now, that's what from the Europeans' perspective. I wouldn't sign. If I'd have been there, I know my people ain't signed nothing. I wouldn't be what I am today. You got to see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, I don't know. I'm not challenging him because I know there were some that did not sign. And they killed a lot. If you read the history of Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921, it will bring tears to your eyes. What that European did to our ancestors, our grandparents. And then had the audacity. Clinton got on the air and said we can't keep arguing about what happened in the past. We got to start a new slate. Clinton said that. The chief of police that's there now said that it was so bad, he don't even know who to blame. So let's just leave it alone and start anew. I've heard of such crap. Tulsa, Oklahoma, right now today. They were the richest. That's where Black Wall Street, that's where White Wall Street come from. It was created from the concept of Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's why they called it Black Wall Street. Where did all them blackies come from? I've never been out there. But I've been told by people that's been there, black folks everywhere out there. Oklahoma, South Dakota. I've been in, Pocatello, Idaho. I've been in Idaho. Out there in, Dugway, Utah for a while when I was in the military. But all that area, you got black folks everywhere out there. Where they come from? All of them got relatives in the South. When you study that power tan, you will get a true concept of what that European has done. Now, let's go to General Custer. All you know about Custer was the little bighorn. All you know about Custer was he couldn't get along with let me call them, the constructionist generals, Sherman and Sheridan, who were supposed to be such heavyweights in the Civil War. So they considered punishing him by sending him out west. I think that they talk about, everybody knows General Custer. Why is that? When I bring up Sheridan and Sherman, everybody say something loose like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you sure do. But you know about Custer. So when I ask you about Black Kettle, you ain't never heard of Black Kettle. Black Kettle was the president of the Oklahoma Territory. He had Articles of Confederation. He ran that whole territory out there. There were multitudes of tribes under him. Them heavyweight Indians that are not in the civilized tribes, such as Sitting Bull, Geronimo, Crazy Horse, all them heavyweights that the European label, that name wasn't that, European called them that. And then they massacred Custer. That's a lie. They should have killed all of them. Because Custer, to make when they told, listen to this, and this is all in research. I want you to call me a lie, and next week, I ain't going to talk to you if you ain't got some backup. But I can back up what I'm saying. When they told Custer to go out west, they said, we want you to kill. Don't run them off the land. Don't negotiate off the land. We want you to kill every blackie that you come in contact with. Get up. Now, they didn't call them blackies, they called them Indians. So Custer says, why I got to do that? They said, because if you don't kill them, and if you run them off, they're going to come back. If you don't kill them, they're going to take us to court. So we don't want no trait of nothing. So we want you to kill every blackie you can find. So he went and got a colonel known as Shivington. Shivington was a jackleg preacher, Methodist preacher, who was a colonel, or Custer made him a colonel. Shivington said the only good nigga is a dead nigga. He has a history of nothing but bloodshed. He took 700 troops and went into Black Kettle's camp in the fall season. Y'all need to look this up. I feel y'all looking at me like I'm a crazy man. Listen to me. He took 700 troops, went into this area in the fall when all of the men and young men, elders and young men, they all go hunting to get ready for winter. This chump waited till they left, went into this Oklahoma territory, slaughtered women, children, seniors ran off all the stock. Read it. It's in the books. Cut off their heads, their ears. Killed pregnant women and cut the babies out. All of it's in there. They don't talk about it because that's the war they were talking about, but they don't want you to know it, so they created this bullcrap called the Civil War with the red coats and the blue coats.
So they were the one that was doing the scalping, and they were saying that they
yes.
that the Indian was the one that was scalping people.
Yes, 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 yes. Today, many Native Americans, especially those from other nations, find the Five Civilized Tribes label patronizing or racist. When the tribes are discussed together, sometimes the modified label, Five Tribes, is used to avoid the suggestion that other indigenous people were savages. In other words, when they wrote this history, not only did they put it under a new label, you out there never knew what Custer did. This chump lives down, how far is Monroe from Detroit? 21, 23 miles? This punk's got a big statue down there. I went down there and did a TV show, showed him on that horse. I think he was well, I did the show and I brought out this information that Custer was the big, and then there was another general. I didn't tell you about him. His name was Anthony Wayne. He was known as Mad Dog Wayne. He was in the Michigan, in our territory, Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota, Illinois, all that. He was in our territory. He was killing blacks on sight. They had to get us out so they could come in. Anybody that opposed them, they killed them. But in the name of the Lord, because that damn Chivington was a preacher. We don't know this history. We're looking at all this gala trash. And I've always asked, how can the great coats, when I don't see nothing but peckerwoods, white boys, Europeans? I just ran that off. Here we go. Did I do it? A confederate. I don't think I did it. A confederation has to be, by definition, it's got to be two or more political entities who will decide either knowingly or unknowingly against an oppressor and unite and kill them or fight them. All these Indians didn't know each other. They knew the European was a dog, a crook, a killer, an invader, stealing our land. And now they give us the glory of, what was that thing Denzel did? Denzel and glory, all that crap.
All right.
The brainwashers. You know, I have to laugh to keep from crying. And I'm not crying on what they did. I'm crying on how our people don't know. We could be free overnight if we had the true history. We don't need arms and guns and tanks. We don't need that. Because the European won't come near you if he knows you know the truth. Elijah Muhammad said it. If you study self, you'll have to tie a string on your finger to remind you the European exists. Because he won't come because your vibrations are too great. Help me, somebody. Now, I just heard on the news. Oh, no, I ain't through with the Five Tribes. But I just heard on the news that Detroit's getting ready to. Every year, General Motors, Chrysler, and Ford, all them crooks.
Ron, you say you broke up. Detroit is getting ready to what?
They're getting ready to go to South Carolina wherever that flag is hanging, that they went to court to make them take it down, and they moved it to the back of the courthouse. Mildred Gaddis was announcing today that they've taken reservations because General Motors, Chrysler, and Ford and other corporations are going to donate funds so they can charter buses to go down there. This is the most ignorant, idiotic, stupid, I can't think of no other word without cussing, move that anybody can make. I'm going to make me a license plate with a on it and put it on my car. Why would you do that, Ron? The Iroquois
Break it up, Ron.
Yes.
You break
Say that again.
Say it again. You broke up on us.
You keep saying I don't know what to turn up. The Confederate flag is the flag of the Iroquois Confederation. It's a good flag. Every black family should have that flag if you believe in freedom. Did you hear that, Beverly?
Wow. Say that again. That's the what?
The so-called rebel flag with the cross and the stripes. Every one of those flags should be hanging on every black family in the United States that believes in freedom. Because the flag belonged to the Iroquois Confederation. Those were your people. They have manipulated. Go ahead. The swastika came out of the pyramids. It's a sign of power that our people have. Another one is the black cat that goes across your path. Everybody say that's bad luck. That's the best thing they can ever do.
That's right.
The number 13. Oh, I don't want that number. They don't put it on the elevator. Crap. Because that's your best secret number for power. These people have totally, completely lied to us. Because if we stay on our square, they cannot rule us. That's why Elijah Muhammad said, if you study self, they can't rule you. Because you become so powerful, your vibrations are so great, your aura is such a illuminated process that they will stay away. They can feel it if they go by on the street and I'm sitting in here, they'll make a U-turn and go back the other way. They can't stand the vibration. That's where our power lies. But we don't know it. We're arguing and each other, playing all that music. I ain't talking about rap alone, but we playing all that, listening to them crazy TV shows and programs, a lot of stuff like that, that confuses our spirit. It struggles to stay on path. Then when you throw Christianity in there, you really got a problem. And don't get me wrong, I am a stone believer in the Creator. I will fight for the right to believe in a Creator. But I'm not going to believe in some type of construction put together by a European, by them. I don't care what they call it. I'm not going for it.
Now, someone in the chat room is saying that the Confederate flag, the Iroquois flag, resembles the British flag.
They said that the Confederate flag is a what to the British flag?
It resembles, if you look at it, it resembles the British flag.
It does. And that's because the Iroquois Confederation, their home ground was in New York, which was known in history as Great Britain. See, all countries on earth today, Beverly, their founding constitution and our charters all came after 1876. Did you know that?
No.
Only because they all come from United States. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. So that's why it resembles, because the Iroquois come out of New York, Britain, Great Britain. They come out of that area. Don't you think that when they had the Revolutionary War with the Redcoats, they came across the Atlantic Ocean? That's another fallacy. They were already here. You follow me?
Yeah, I'm following.
So, I know it's a lot to comprehend. But we're at the top of the hour. Give me a chance to try to work on this sound thing. And what we'll do is, when I come back, we're going to deal with the titles of nobility, how they relate to the 5 tribes. Okay?
Okay, so
let's take... Yes, take a 10-minute break.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Talk to you.
Okay, we're going to take a 10-minute break. I'm going to play some music from the local here in the Detroit, Michigan area. And so this track here is called Stuck Inside Your Storm.
Stuck inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and unable to keep my head stable, like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and unable to keep my head stable, like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and unable to keep my head stable, like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and unable to keep my head stable, like got me spinning like a tornado. Stuck inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and unable to keep my head stable, like got me spinning like a tornado. Trapped since birth, had me mama, she held caution, fighting for my life, concealed self. Losing another kid, trying my hardest to get out. I couldn't see death, climbed out a womb, opened my eyes and took my first breath. She was so happy, all I could see was the white teeth that she held me tightly in her arms, cause now I'm free. But now I'm older, recognizing things on the streets, seeing the peeps with nowhere to sleep, saying they hungry, holding up signs every day. Up on the corner, people pass, they hunk their horns and laugh. Our family warns about days like this, always said getting education is what you be facing. Say goodbye to the dreams you're chasing, but there's still hope. Don't stop now, you can achieve in order to succeed. You have to believe it's indeed. Stuck inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and unable to keep my head stable, like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and unable to keep my head stable, like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and unable to keep my head stable, like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and unable to keep my head stable, like got me spinning like a tornado.
Police sirens, gunshots, they calling back up. Warned you by talking this shit, you getting clapped up. Short fuse and sociopathic, we put the act up. Told you can't come close, you got to back up. A nuclear chemical reaction, you getting jacked up. Dangerous schemes, we admit you throwing black up. Bile coming out of your throat, you trying to ask what possibly you could even do to save your ass. But your life is flashing before your eyes, is turning black. But your spirit preparing to lift, in your throat that's crackle. Everything turning so black, you lost the battle. Guess that's the price you pay, you fucking asshole. Give me your soul. Give me your soul for the riches, you bitches. Stuck inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and unable to keep my head stable, like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and unable to keep my head stable, like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and unable to keep my head stable, like got me spinning like a tornado. Inside the storm, thunder and lightning, and unable to keep my head stable, like got me spinning like a tornado.
It's a lot going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from the bottom up to the top of this cold, cold world. It's a lot going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from
my pops and mom stressing. Thank God I learned my lesson. Back and forth to church, can't live my life doing dirt. So Father, send me a message, I'm ready to do your work. Tired of doing bad deeds and hustling on the turf. Homies killing homies for nothing, they living life without work. Wind up dead or in jail, either heaven or hell. So pray and get on your knees, cause only time will tell.
Wild boys, running rapping in the streets with two left feet, incomplete, missing the beat, feeling the heat. What's beef when niggas creep 30 deep? They don't sleep, peeping the scenery, pockets full of greenery, cemetery, Hail Mary, shell shock baits. The world going crazy, can't seem to shake it off. These brothers ain't lazy, they get to spitting out. I mean super hairy shot, just clear your block.
What's going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from the bottom up to the top of this cold, cold world. It's a lot going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from the bottom up to the top in this cold, cold world. Cold times, cold mind, colder than a cold rhyme. Caught a cold standing out in the cold blind. Homeless in the cold world from a cold dime. Had the cold cock a bitch nigga for stealing cold rhymes. People's minds, souls, hearts colder than cold ice. Repetitive cold crimes, nearly led to cold time. Rather be in the Bahamas sipping cold ties, or in this book spitting truth, laying these cold lines.
Wicked city of bad things, a lot of nightmares, been awakened by bad dreams. So it seems the D's seen a lot of blood shed in abandoned houses, that's why my people's walking dead. Now last night I shook hands with a dead man. His body was cold, yet dressed and wore a headband. Walked with a cane, a slight limp in his leg. A book to the game, he turned to me and he said,
it's a lot going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from the bottom up to the top of this cold, cold world. It's a lot going on and it just won't stop. Trying to make it from the bottom up to the top in this cold, cold world.
Yes, I, Rastafari, Haile Selassie. Jah make the blind man see, jump up and feel irie. He make the lame man walk, make all the dumb start talk. That they may all be one, as thou have a heart in eye, and eye in the eye. That they may also be one in eye and eye, that the world may know and believe that thou hast sent I. And the glory which thou gavest unto I and I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one. I and them, and thou and I, that they may be made perfect in oneness, and that the world may know that thou hast sent I, and hast loved them, even as thou hast loved the I.
Ready or not, you're gonna get a shot of this red hot black African love. Step on the scene, hand them out pure and clean, ice cold and green, black African love. Ready or not, you're gonna get a shot of this red hot black African love. Don't be so mean, the love is pure and clean, oh Lord.
They make the sick get well, redeem the wicked from hell, to make a deaf man ear, I'll make the careless start kill. Oh Lord, come now, all people, let's gather near and listen well clear in the words that I and I, Rastaman, I've come to sing to you. At the time that truth must prevail, or else it's weeping and a wailing, pure gnashing of teeth, them gonna end, and that will come on you and you and you too. So, if you're ready or not, you're gonna get a shot of this good red hot black African love. Instead upon the scene, but don't be so mean, ice cold and green and black African love. Come to the beat, get away from the beat, let's head to the east, black African love. Don't be so mean, keep your hands and heart pure and clean. It make the blind man see, jump up and feel irie.
Come make the lame man walk. Make all the dumb start talk. As the Father has loved I and I, so I have loved the I. Continue ye in Jah love. And if you keep the I commandments, you shall abide in Jah love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments, and abide in his love. These things have I spoken unto you, that I and I joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be made full. But this is I and I commandment, that ye love one another, as I have loved you. For greater love has no man, that he should lay down his life, even for his friends.
Ready or not, you're gonna get a shot of this good red hot black African love. Come to the beat, get away from the beat, let's head to the east, black African love. If you're ready or not, you're gonna get a shot of this good red hot black African love. Step on your seat, don't be so mean, oh Lord, black African love. Ready or not, you're going to get a shot. Good red hot black African love. Step on the seat, keep your hand.
Welcome to the desert of the real. This is the world that you know. You've been living in a dream world. You've been living in a dream world. World as it was at the end of the 20th century. Doubt, disbelief, fear. You've been doubt living in a dream world. Disbelief. This is the world as it exists today. Tell me like it is. This is the world that you know. This is the world that you know. This is the world that you know. You've been living in a dream world. You've been living in a dream world. World as it was at the end of the 20th century. Doubt, disbelief, fear. You've been doubt living in a dream world. Disbelief. This is the world as it exists today. Tell me like it is. This is the world that you know. This is the world that you know. This is the world that you know. You've been living in a dream world. You've been living in a dream world. World as it was at the end of the 20th century. Doubt, disbelief, fear. You've been doubt living in a dream world. Disbelief. The world as it exists today. This is the world as it exists today. Tell me like it is.
Welcome back to the Truth to Power Show, and you are listening to Beverly D. and Ron March of the Ron March Show. Ron March, are you back?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here, and I'm ready to go.
Okay.
All right.
You've been hitting us hard tonight.
I'm not through with you.
Oh, my.
I'm not through. So let's go back to the 5 tribes.
Okay.
And I'll label Seminole, Creek, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee. These names are very important because the European made them nations, which means that there were thousands, hundreds of thousands of Moors under each one of these titles. But they fixed it so that only those that were desirable to the European became the civilized. So they had to create a new name for all the civilized ones and then put them into this 5 civilized tribes. Does that make sense? I mean, do you understand that?
I understand.
Okay. Now listen carefully. Islam law and world politics is specific. No half-stepping. You must stand on your square. I teach this all the time. Here are 5 Crimean, Moorish titles of nobility that ties so-called Indian, Hindu, Indios, Indus, and blacks. All of this is tied into the 5 civilized tribes. Now, to the sovereign American gate of America, Mexium, El Morocco, and the North Gate. Here we go with Black America. El, Bey, Day, Al, and Ali. Those are titles of nobility. These 5 titles belong to the 5 tribes, civilized tribes. They are, El means Cherokee, Bey means Choctaw, Day, D-E-Y, means Seminole, Al means Crete, Ali means Chickasaw. The title El means God of power. Bey means ruler or landlord. Day means knowledgeable. Al means the same as El, but El is masculine and Al is goddess. All means exalted, or most high. You get it?
Yes.
Now, I know you've heard of Els and Bays and Days. All of that come from the Moorish nation. All of that. And the Europeans, tied all of that into their so-called Five Civilized Tribes to keep us more confused. But they had to get away from the titles of nobility because the Constitution says they can never have titles of nobility in United States. This is why all lawyers, judges, prosecutors are traitors, treasonous traitors to United States. Why? Because they all have a title of nobility called Esquire. You've seen that EQS behind those people's names. That means that they're Esquire. They were knighted by the Queen or the King of England to pay homage to them, not to us. This is how they maintain control. England maintains control of America through the law system. That's why it's all corrupt. No lawyer's a good lawyer. No judge is a good judge. Black, white, mama, daddy, cousin, husband, wife, all of them are crooks. Every one of them. Take another step. Allah. A, arm, L, leg, A, second arm, H, head. A-L-L-A-H, which is Allah. Got it? Thus, man being manifested in the form of Allah. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. My head is crowned with love. I have right arm. I have peace in my left arm. My right foot, which is my leg, is unbound, giving me freedom. And my left foot, my leg, moves forward in justice, which creates Islam. I, self, L, law, A, am, M, master / mother. I, self, Lord, am master. Islam is truly about peace, love, and honoring thy mother, because we are from the matriarch culture. They are from the patriarch culture. Islam is not terror and war you see on television. It is all peace and love. But they have manipulated it into and all of this fighting. So we get scared and afraid. We don't want to embrace Islam. We don't want to embrace Allah. And I'm not asking you to. I'm bringing you just facts. You can do what you want. I don't care. The tribes were uprooted from their homes east of the Mississippi River in a series of Indian removals. authorized by the federal legislation over several decades and moved to what was referred to as Indian Territory and is now the eastern portion of the state of Oklahoma. All of this has roots as to who we really are. And they have us confused, number one, that we come over on a slave ship. You got to get rid of that. Number two, those that they couldn't fool with coming over, they created what they call an Indian and say all things that happened in history came from the Indian. There's no such thing as an Indian. And if you ever meet one and say he's an Indian, just ask him why is he on a reservation. If he was an Indian, he sold us out. That's why he got on the reservation, because he told the Europeans, I'll help you kill them, because they're not Christians and they don't love you.
Like someone in the chat room is saying, Alabama is from Ali Baba, and Illinois is from Illinois.
Okay. I don't have all the answers. I have a knack of making the story believe from my perspective. I'll agree with them, but I'd like for them to do more research in that. I love it. That sounds good to me. I don't have an argument with it. You follow me?
Right.
The most infamous Indian removal was in 1838, known as the Trail of Tears, the President enforcement of the highly contentious 1831 Treaty of New Choctaw. To spell it out, Echota. They used that treaty to remove the Indian out of the Georgia, Tennessee, Mississippi area and pushed him out to Oklahoma. During the American Civil War, which I told you was not what you saw from Hollywood, but the court fights. The 5 tribes were divided in their loyalties. The Choctaw and Chickasaw fought predominantly on the Confederate side, while the Creek, Seminole, and especially the Cherokee were split between the Union and the Confederacy. See, they're trying to clean up the trash that they put in the books. I'm looking right at it.
The lies they put in the book.
Yes. Unlike Indian tribes in neighboring areas who belonged to the Iroquois Confederation and had a democratic form of government, listen carefully, the Powhatan tribes was ruled by, I can't pronounce his name, I'm going to call him Wachakucha. I don't know what his name is, I can't pronounce it. Powerful chief who had conquered and claimed over 30 different Indian bands, which would be tribes, living in as many as 100 different villages to form the Powhatan chieftain. While each band still had a chief, they were all required to pay tribute to Wachakanku, whatever this guy's name was, and were under his authority. That's the form of government we have today. The president, all of the governors pay homage to the president. They stole everything they have. They took it from us. And the most profound form of government was the Iroquois Confederation. This is the Powhatan Confederation. In the beginning, relationship between the English and the Powhatan was contentious, and prisoners were taken on both sides to be held for exchange and peace negotiation. At one point, the chief's daughter, Matakata, better known as Pocahontas, was taken by the English, European, and held as an exchange for English prisoners. Pocahontas converted to Christianity and was courted by John Wolfe. Anglo-European. In 1613, the two were married with the chief's consent and the power of the Powhatan tribe and the English settlers established a peace coexistence. And you wonder why we in trouble? All this stuff is so heavy, it just, I want everybody
Someone in the chat room was asking, how did the tribes become white? Well, you just told it right there with Pocahontas and Wolf.
Wolf was a European.
That's what I know. And she's saying,
okay,
how did the Indians, all of them are white now? And so they got Pocahontas and Wolf united and had the mulatto children, and I can see how they became white now.
Well, then I would ask that person who's there in the chat room, have they ever been to a powwow? And from what she's saying, I don't think that she's ever been to a powwow because of two fractions. Number one, half of the so-called people that show up are blacker than I am. Number two, there is a large contingency of white people that show up that claim they have black blood. Why do they do that? Because the government, through treaties, owe them benefits. If you know an Indian, ask him about the benefits. They have gobs of benefits. I told you, next time you take out an application and they ask you what is your race, check white and see what happens to your mailbox. In a matter of 2 months, it'll be overflowed with benefits that you never knew existed. So yes, Indians are white and they're light complected, but not all of them. Any light complected black person or colored person can be an Indian. Which I tell you what, you'll never see a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, pale-skinned calling himself Indian. He can't pass the test. And see, they know how to trick us to hate ourselves, because now comes to mind about the brown bag test. Now, I got to ask you, Bev, do you know anything about the brown bag test?
Is that the one with the baby doll?
No.
No, that wasn't.
That's the one that they take a brown paper bag and they have an affair. If you are darker than the brown paper bag, you couldn't get in.
Oh, no, I hadn't heard about that. Okay.
They call it, look it up. Just put in that brown paper bag test and it'll come up.
Wow.
When they started brainwashing us, they had to separate us by color. So they would do benefits for the light-complected blacks that they wouldn't do for the dark-complected. 90% of the, I'm going to call them elders, in our race, if the man is black, the wife is yellow. If the wife is yellow, the man is black. Wow. They do that because the system made them do that. We were brainwashed. Oh, Lord, I'm ashamed to say it, but I love it now that I understand why. That's why you see people married from different colors. My grandmother was blacker than me. Her hair was that short. Kept saying she was a Blackfoot, and I thought she was making fun of us.
That's what my people, that's what I'm from, a Blackfoot.
Yes. But her husband was a yellow, peckerwood-looking daddy. We call him Daddy Bob. Beautiful brother, because he knew his daddy was an Indian and his mama was white. And the white mama had come from a white family, of course, which was M-A-R-S-H. But when it got into that mixed marriage, for some reason it changed to C-H. We never could figure out how that happened, but you know what happened. They didn't want that to be hooked up back into the M-A-R-S-H. Okay. But Daddy Bob was very light complected. A Mason, Everybody looked up to him. He knew the book. He knew the Bible. He read the Bible every day. Grandma March, my grandma said, the heck with that. She ain't going that route. I never could figure out how they could get along. They had 7 children. But my daddy was the oldest. I can't explain that. I'm not heavy enough to get into that. But I'm just saying, we can get back to what really happened in history. We can begin to understand why we are where we are today. And y'all know we got a lot of Uncle Remus, lying, two-faced Uncle Tom, and Angie Mammies in our race that we will never get ahead if we don't identify them as such. You got it?
I got it.
Yes. In the beginning, relationship between the English and the did I read that already? Yeah. Prisoners, yeah. The peace was not permanent, and after death of Wachakuchi, I can't pronounce the name, his brother, oh Lord, here's another one, I can't pronounce it, became chief. The new leader was concerned about the encroachment, listen carefully, of the English settlers who were constantly moving west. They were stealing land. And they had to listen, ladies and gentlemen. When I take another excursion to Elmwood Cemetery, I'm going to personally take you along. The first governor of Michigan from the Europeans' perspective, which would be United States of America, was a a white boy named Cass, C-A-S-S.
Yeah.
Out at Elmwood Cemetery, there's a huge plot, where he's got his whole family. They got little monuments on the right, and he's got a humongous monument in the front. Well, everything looks in order until you ask, is the wife still living? And the answer is no. Then where is she? So the brother said, come with me. He took me around the back of this big colossal thing, and there was a plaque on the ground on it. They wouldn't even bury her with her family. And they had to marry her in order to get the land of Michigan on the books for the European. Because the land was always in the women's name, not the male. Anybody that doubt it, come to Michigan and come to Detroit and I'll take you over and show it to you. There's an ugly, dirty plaque on the ground, dirt, mud, leaves, everything. You got to scrape it off with your hand to see that she was the wife of this racist that's got this beautiful, beautiful layout. I can't even describe it to you. Almost sitting on a half an acre. He got all of his children and grandchildren on one side. He's in the middle, huge. And they talk about everything. And you wouldn't even bring it up if I didn't tell you ask you where the wife was. And she ain't nowhere to be found until you go around the back. And I mean around the back. And there she is. So now every state had to do that. Michigan had 2 governors, but they had the real governor who was elected from the Moors in the territory, and then they had what they call a provincial government that was sent in by Washington, D.C. And as soon as the real governor died, there was no more elections. They started electing this new governor, and then nobody ever challenged it. As acquiescence, you agreed that Cass became the governor of Michigan.
Wow.
Okay. 12 years later.
Someone say the same thing in Philadelphia and New York, too.
Yes. Same thing in every state. Not Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Everything, every state. They couldn't get the land until, I'll ask you this. Here's a good question, and maybe they'll answer it in the chat room. I want to know where everybody listening tonight, where do they live? Now, the first one that comes in, I'm going to tell you what's happening, and that nobody else has to come in. But as soon as you get something in that chat room that tells you where they live and where they're from, that type of thing, let me know.
Okay, the first person say New York and the second one say Alabama.
All right. Now, my question to either one of them, are they telling us they live in the state capitol building of New York or the state capitol building? The answer is no. But why do they say they're from there? They're from the county near New York. Like I'm from Wayne County near Detroit. Because I don't live, the capital of Detroit or the city county building of Detroit is downtown on Woodward, 1 Woodward. That's a building. That's what the government bought and called it Detroit. City of Detroit. Not Detroit City. They called it City of Detroit. There's always 2 of everything. Because once they put it in all capital letters, they had to change it around from Detroit City to City of Detroit. So everybody that called in, they're from the state, but they're not from the state of Alabama. They're from. My family is from Jackson County, Tennessee. That's how they did it in the original. European changed all that crap. Because I know none of them that said anything live in the state house of that state. So they can just quit saying they're from New York and Alabama, because it's a lie. Now, it ain't a lie, but it's not true. You kind of get it?
Yeah. So Detroit is a corporation.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And
the state of... When you went to school, Beverly, Beverly, when you went to school, they called Michigan M-I-C-H.
Right.
Illinois, I-L-L. They call California C-A-L. They call Alabama A-L-A. What do they call it now? They call Michigan 2 letters, M-I. Illinois, I-L. Alabama, A-L. Why? Because they created a fictitious state that don't exist. We fell for it because nobody challenged it. So we accepted the contract acquiescently because we didn't know any better. It's madness. We used to have zones. I can't remember well on it because I didn't write letters when I was coming up. But they never had zip codes. That's why when you write a zip code today, you should put it in brackets. And guess what, Bev?
Why is that? Why you put like the zip code? You put it in brackets. What is that for?
You put it in brackets because literally, technically, legally, lawfully, it don't exist. And you're letting the corporations know that you ain't buying the bull crap. So you put it in brackets. Anytime you see anything in brackets, it means that what's in the bracket does not pertain to what you're reading. Where would you find it the most? IRS documents. And that's a whole different program. But they do it all the time because they can scare you by saying what they're going to do to you, but they put it in brackets, meaning they just trying to feel you out. Look it up. Don't look at me like I'm going crazy off the deep end. It's a fact. Zip codes, should put it in a bracket. You should even put your house address in brackets. They did that because they can't own land. They created lots that never exist. When you look at your house land description, if you think I'm lying, I can prove it right quick. Get out your document on your mortgage, look at the land description, and it'll say things like east-west corridor of so-and-so latitude, longitude, all of that kind of stuff. If you look that up, you'll find that it's a humongous area of land. It ain't no lot. I looked mine up, and it was about 800 acres. And that was on my land description of my mortgage. Something. Because they can't own land, and they divvied it up and started labeling it lots, what else, acres. They created that. That don't exist. They made that up in order to fool you to think that they own something. They don't own nothing. They're not allowed to own nothing in accordance with the original Constitution. All you got to do is read it. That's why they don't want you to listen to the Constitution. They don't want you to read the Constitution. They don't want you to even think about the Constitution. They talk about democracy, which means they made it up because they were in power. Demonism, democracy, democratic, that's what it is.
So we're dealing with a bunch of demons.
Yes. Yes. And they're good at what they do. The only protection you have is knowledge of. There's no need to even talk about fighting because you never beat them. They cannot be defeated. But they have to put you to sleep before they can do their dirt. And that's what they do. And that's where we are. Remember what I told you, the first president of the United States was who? Adam Wassenhoff. European, the founder of the Illuminati. They took his face and put it in a black place. People listening this is a good question. Since we got a live audience, I want somebody to go to the chat room and say that they know a European family with the name Washington. I'll give them 2 seconds to get in. They don't exist. Why not? We know the European wants to be a part of anything that can create power. Who in the world could be more powerful than a descendant of George Washington? You got the Kennedys all over the place. You got the Clintons all over the place. Soon you're going to have the Obamas all over the place. All them Republicans, Romneys, and all them names mean something. Can get you started in a political fight. Or not fight, but a political position. Because my great-great-granddaddy was Abraham Lincoln. That old crap. Well, what the hell happened to Andrew Jackson? There's a few white folks named Jackson. They don't like to talk about it. But you ain't going to find no whitey named Washington. No, it's got to be a reason for that. Reason was, Reverend?
Yes. I mean, I'm
Washington. Washington is another name for Ouachita. And Ouachita has been labeled by the United Nations as the oldest indigenous people on earth. Now, if that's not an honor, look it up. Don't look at me like I'm making up something. You look it up. The United Nations, and that's what I was trying to explain to you a couple of weeks ago and last week. They have a mandate that the Moorish nation, which is Ouachita, Dedu Damayu, the Moors are the oldest, in the words, oldest indigenous people, not persons, people on earth. Now, that got to mean something. That's why we got to build ourselves a nationality, and it's got to be labeled with a incumbent title, such as indigenous. I am an indigenous Omic Ouachita Moor. And I ain't got to file no papers. I ain't got to argue with nobody. I'm in my zone from what I know. And once you start studying from your zone, you're going to find that you have some rules and regulations as being indigenous that don't apply to the system, because you was here before the system. We gave them the Constitution, which they didn't give it to us. We only became a part of it when we did not argue of the 14th Amendment, when they made us acquiescent citizens of Washington, D.C. and the District of Columbia. Oh, this stuff is heavy. 12 years later, Okachaku organized another attack, killing almost 500 settlers. See, they didn't get along. Once that first guy, the daddy of Pocahontas, died, his brother took over. And he began to notice that the Europeans were encroachment of English settlers who were constantly moving westward, taking more land to replace the fields depleted by tobacco crops. We had the tobacco crops. We're supposed to be picking cotton. So they say, from Hollywood, going with the wind. See how they do it?
Yeah.
In 1622, he led a series of surprise attacks, which killed almost 350 settlers in one sweep. This began a decade of warfare, which finally ended when a peace treaty was signed in 1632. Now, can you dig it? We was here. They had to create the Indian because there was too much going on in the history of the United States that they couldn't explain, and they didn't want us to know. So we can even ask the question, well, if the Indian was here, how did you take over everything? You had to kill them all to do it. But we're so busy looking at us in slavery, coming over on slave ships, we don't even think about that question. Let's say we give the Indian the first one. Good. Why is he on a reservation? If it's his land, why in the hell is he on a reservation? Why are they drunk all the time?
Well, he got some casinos.
He got some what?
Casinos.
I heard that. Yes, he do. Yes, he do. Okay. But all of the equipment is owned. You ought to talk to somebody who knows about those casinos. The equipment is owned by Europeans, and the business portion of it is set up by Europeans. In other words, the Indian has the land. That's all he has is the land. They come in and create the casinos and set up the contracts to coincide with the Indians' land. Remember the fight they had on Greektown. Remember the black chick who was the city council person. No, she had moved up to what? I almost called Brenda. I want to say Brenda Scott, but it wasn't Brenda Scott. Anyway, she was in the White House with Clinton.
You're not talking about Everest, whatever her name was. You're not talking about that one that died.
No. No. The one I'm talking about was on the city council, and then she ran for Diggs' seat. I think she ran for Diggs' seat. Anyway, she went to the Secretary of Interior and told them from the Black Caucus, since we supported all of y'all's crap, I want you to make Greektown an Indian reservation. Don't you remember that?
Yeah.
They kicked her out. She lost her next election because she brought that up. That's how they treat us when we go into truth. They come after us to get us out of there.
Yeah.
I'm looking at her because her brother, I went to, because her brother married a Ghanaian prince. And I went over there with him, and the wife and I. Oh, I almost said it. Okay, it'll come to me, or I'll learn it later. But anyway, my point in bringing that up is she went against the grain when she made the Secretary of Interior give that Greektown, downtown, Brenda. He gave, Beverly, I'm sorry. Gave that to the Indians, those two Indian guys, those two Greeks, because they had an Indian that tribe that wanted to come in there, but they needed land. So they made that land down there Indian territory.
Right.
And they got an Indian grant to get on it. Now they done sold it. Everybody done forgot about it. Now they're selling it to a European. He cannot buy it. That's right. That's
well, he
Gilbert.
Be in there, yeah.
But listen to me.
Owner, yeah.
But he never can own it. He's only bought a certificate of title. That's my point. I'm trying to get everybody to see. He knows the game. He can't own it. The Indians can come back and take it anytime because the land belongs to us. Indians don't have the right to give the land away. It's got to be a female. Barbara Rose Collins. Barbara Rose Collins was her name.
Okay.
Yep, Barbara Rose Collins. I get old, I forget.
We only have about 15 minutes, and we didn't even get into the Dawes Roll. If you have a question for Ron, you can call 347-215-8041. That's 347-215-8041. And next Wednesday, Ron, at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we can start off with Dawes Roll.
Okay. We can do that. And I want everybody to do some research. I ain't going to keep coming in and running all this if nobody's studying. I wanted them to jump on me, or they can email me at ronmarchshow@yahoo.com and ask me questions or challenge me on what I'm saying. Because, I just told y'all a lie. I just made that up. I didn't have nothing else to do but to come in here and tell you a barefaced lie. So challenge me on it. And we all can learn. I'm not going to expose you as Josephine Baker from New York. I just want to know if you got it, and if you did, let's discuss it. That's fair enough, ain't it, Beverly?
That's fair. Yes, it is. And that's how we learn, too, from discussion. We have a lot of people on telephone lines, but I don't see any hands that is raised. So the area code is 347-215-8041. Now, someone in the chat room is saying that Washington, the first president, George Washington, conducted the French Revolution in 1787 to 1799.
Well, okay. I don't know. I can easily agree with that, but I haven't done any research on that. And tell that person, don't forget that the French and Indian War was black French and black Indians. They made those names up. They didn't exist. We were the first ones on earth, the oldest people on earth. Everything came from us. Germans, French, English, everything came from us. We were that in the beginning. So when they say French and Indian War, the first thing we think about is over there in Europe, France, and that's not what they're talking about. Because the war of French and Indian War was in the Northwest Territory, in Detroit, Michigan, Ohio, all this Great Lakes area. That's where the Indians fought. Detroit was founded by French. But they were not French from over there. What you know today. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I used to have a map. I got a map of early 1700 United States. And all of those countries were here. They got ran out in 1812. Most of the people about the War of 1812. None of them can tell me what that war was about. They made a couple of movies from Hollywood with that bald-head Yul Brynner and Lateef, that was fighting down in New Orleans, to give you a general idea, with Andrew Jackson. But that's not what it was. Andrew Jackson and the legislation said they wanted only one flag in the United States. So they were pushing all of the other countries off the United States. See, this is a diabolical plan that was set up probably, I don't know, 1500 sometime. Where we are today, it was all set up way back. And they needed a power base, United States, they needed this land in order to do what they're doing today, to take over the earth. And we were the fall guy. That's why we don't have a nationality. Keep asking yourself, why don't we have a nationality? Everybody got it. Did you hear that, Beth?
Yeah. Say that again, Ryan. I'm sorry. Say that again.
Somebody was asking a question, and I didn't hear it clear. Did you hear it?
No, that wasn't me. That was the computer. Something else that popped up.
Oh, okay. I guess all I was saying was the War of 1812 was set up and fought to run all flags off of the United States. That's all it was. And let's not forget, now listen to this carefully, the Morocco government, where they try to say the Moors came from, was only founded in 1958. Now, think about that. How can it be founded in 1958 when I'm talking about Morocco, El Morocco, back in 1600? They had to set up Morocco over there to confuse us. The same way they set up Israel to get the Christians to think that Jesus had blonde hair, blue eyes, and pale skin. They made that crap up. Help me, somebody. They had to create Israel in order to get them in there with that lie and run the Palestinians off, and they had to do it with Ralph Bunche of Blackie. Oh, Lord. Don't get me cranked up on that again. It was founded by Ralph Bunche, the first black to get the Nobel Peace Prize. They set that up because he was a good nigger. His job was to the Palestinians out. Jesus walked in Palestine. And there's no Palestine today. Christians don't know that. If you ask a Christian or even a preacher, how long has Israel been over there? They'll tell you, oh, they've been there thousands of years. And I tried to cold cock one time. You're just a dummy. Israel was only founded in 1948 in order to keep us in darkness. And they did a good job because they reward all preachers with privileges to keep us asleep. Talking about the by and by. That's why I hate them. Oh,
don't forget
Bill.
And don't forget the politicians. Don't leave them out.
Oh, yeah. There's a matter. But see, Christianity is close to our spirit. Politicians, political, rigmarole. But our spirit is in there all the time. So they had to get to the spirit in order to turn us around and get us away from our true selves. And don't get me wrong, I'm the most quote-unquote religious, but they created that word, individual ever meet. But I'm not buying the trash they put out there. And I tell any of them that. Tell the Pope that. Go to hell. I'm not buying it. It's a lie.
It's a lie.
It's a lie. It's a lie. How can they come, Johnny come late, and tell us about heaven? How can they come, Johnny come lately, and tell us about 5 civilized tribes? Who told them that they were 5 civilized tribes? And they say that the only reason they were civilized because they was on with them, and they were Christians. They can deal with a Christian. Because they'll tell you, because your Jesus looks like them. Nobody ever talked about that. First thing Christians say, I don't care what color Jesus was. I'm going to heaven with Jesus. All that old talk. Whoever heard such trash? We're the only people that got a Jesus or a God that don't look like us. Why is that? Oh, Lord, help me, somebody.
We have a call. We have a few minutes here. Area code 773-396.
Hope that better. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I hear you very clearly. Yes.
Okay, great. I just want to say to Ron March, I really hope that you take some type of pill and live for about, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 800 more years because you really need it. And what I want to say is just what Robert X said before about Israel, when he speaks about, if he's speaking on Israeli and whatever they're doing and any type of, like you said, Ron, just like Robert X said, there are no coincidences. Robert X stated that Israel, or is it real?
Right.
Okay. So, Ron, I'm going to be emailing you about all the information, like I stated before. This is a sister from Chicago. And put me on that mailing list for everything, okay? Absolutely everything. And I will be donating. Thank you very much. I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I'm ready to listen. Thank you very much, Fab. I love you.
All right. Appreciate it, sister. I love you. I can't live no 700 years. We used to live that long. You know, I'm fortunate to be 72 because the more I see, Bev, you ought to be with me someday.
We down to our last minute. Can you give them your information, your web,
yes,
your email,
okay,
your class?
All right. Well, you have my website, Ron March Show. Google it, or just that, Ron March Show. Google it or Yahoo. My email address is ronmarchshow@yahoo.com. And I appreciate any and all emails, because I can put you in my catalog. And when I do my research, I'll just blast it out to you. All I want you to do is let me know you got it. When I get new people, I immediately send them something, but I want them to kick back, I got it. All you got to say is got it. I don't care. I ain't for a whole lot of talking. When I got the information, I'll blast it. But I want to make sure you're getting it. And if you have any questions, you let me know, that type of thing. I don't know what else to tell you. I will start emailing my donation P.O. box. And any donation you can send is going to help, because we got to get new equipment over here so you can hear a little clearer. And there's some other things we want to do. We want to broaden our show so we can be on every day. Not me, but we can bring you information every day. I'm with the Phelps Broadcasting System Company, Phelps Broadcasting, here in Detroit. It's a newly founded piece, and we're trying to put it together. We're going to have dance class. I got an email today, and they said we got the best dancers in the United States is in Detroit. Y'all know that. I ain't got to tell you that. And we got those dancing instructors. Some dancing instructions to do the ballroom and all that old heavyweight stuff. So, and then if you have any ideas of something that you would like to do, because we have gobs of documentaries that we're going to start playing every day. And I mean, there's some heavy stuff. We got them all. And we'll go from there. So, Bev, I appreciate you.
Okay. Well, wait a minute, Ron. We have one more caller here that wants to
ask
something. They can't hear us on the computer, but the people that are on the phone can continue to hear us. Area code 330-80.
Okay. Well, I can stay on as long as the calls come.
Area code 330.
Okay.
Okay, I think they left on the phone. Okay, Ron. So,
right.
We will be back next Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. Standard Time.
Yes.
To get some more history lesson. And for those people that is in the Detroit, Michigan area, where is your class held?
Class is held at 12511 Woodward in Highland Park. It's between Glendale and Davison, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Donations is all I ask for. And I guarantee you, if you show up, I'm going to put something on your noggin. And then you decide if you want to come back. But I don't take prisoners. And we lay it all out. Just lay it out. Everybody loves it. I got people to come. The other day, Bev, on Tuesday, I had 15 people show up in that storm.
What? Wow. Now, they is really hungry for the knowledge. That's good.
Yes, they was there for it. And it was so heavy. I was talking about the 5 tribes that next week we're going to do it again because they got questions, and I sent them home to do research. So they're going to have questions, and then when the complete class show up, we all going to jump on them. I love that. Yes. Yes,
great.
So,
well, Ryan, you're doing an excellent job, and we all appreciate you. Wait a minute. They don't want you to go yet. I got another call. Hold on.
All right, come on with it.
804-289.
Thank you, Beverly. Brother Monster, Brother Joe from Richmond, right?
Yes, sir. Brother Joe.
When is all this sweet truth gonna bust wide open? And when is the white people gonna realize, that we know what we know?
That's a very easy question to answer. It's not for them to break open. It's not for them to realize. It's for you to wake up and realize. Everything will fall in place as you wake up. This is an individual battle. We can't go in there singing we shall overcome all that trash you've been taught. All you got to do is study. And as you study, your life will change. And then you can spread that knowledge to other folk just like I'm doing. I don't expect them to wake up because they're not leaders. Never have they been leaders. They've stolen everything we've had.
Yeah.
So why are they...
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Brother Ron, what I was, was trying to nail was is white people trying to deny this or what?
Oh, well, listen, if I kill everybody in your family, you think I'm going to let you know I did it?
Oh, nope. Nope.
All right.
Yeah,
it's not a matter. All right, hold up now. It's not a matter of denying it. They're going to try and say that they're different than those other people, which they're not the ones that did it. The ones here now, they hate you, but they don't hate you like they did in the past because they got away with it in the past because we were all asleep. So now you're going to start a new world. As you wake up, accept everybody into your world. Damn the color. But keep in mind who you are. Don't sell out. Don't start going along with them. Just like when integration came, they didn't come into our world. We ran into their world.
Okay.
And all of us left that. Perfect example is a baseball league. There was a beautiful black Negro baseball league that made goo-gods of money. But as soon as they integrated with Jackie Robinson, we all started going to him and all that crap. Black Negro League went defunct. Same way with the ABA. ABA was a beautiful thing, but they realized they was losing money in the NBA, so they brought the teams over to the NBA. Those are sellouts. We don't need that. So once you learn who you are, we got to build our own power base and let them go on about their business. Can you dig it?
Hey, Brother March, who are these people today that did this yesterday? Who are their asses today?
That's a good question. I got to think on that. Let me think about that the next week because I don't want to say something wrong. I don't know who they are because the spirit of yesterday is still here. That's why we in bondage. But listen to me, brother, we manufacture our own destiny. We keep saying this. Listen to this. I bet you said today, you in Richmond, you said today, have a blessed day, brother. You're blessed. How many times have you used that word blessed today?
Hey, I hate it. I never lose. I mean, I never use it. I hate it.
But you know what I'm talking about. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
How many times did you hear it? How many times did you hear it today?
Yeah, quite a few.
All right.
Everybody's saying it.
So what they're saying to you is they're giving you a curse. Look it up. It's in brackets. It says curse. So we're cursing ourselves to not get ahead because we're putting these negative vibes into the universe. We fight ourselves more than they do. So our enemy is not out there. Our enemy is within, called ignorance.
Hey, Brother March. Hey, look. It's this dude named the Hatchet Man here in Richmond, right? And I got a hold of him. I got a hold of him one day in the parking lot, and I asked him about the 8 presidents and the under the Articles of Confederation, and he told me that the dude Hanson was not a black dude, and he said the Articles of Confederation was not a perfect document.
Okay. Well, I can tell you this. You go to your Constitution tonight and look up Article 4. I'll get it next week. Article 4. It says every contract, every agreement, every treaty, every confederation that was agreed upon prior to signing this Constitution is the law of the land. It has to be adhered to. You should have slapped that punk.
Yeah.
I'll read it next week if I can remember. I'm going to bring my little Constitution and I'm going to read that so you can hear that. It says that every contract, every Constitution, every agreement that was ever made prior to 1776, when they tried to unite or unionize all these states, has to be adhered to. So why you listen to that punk? Or that
Yeah. I told him about you.
You told him about what?
But I told him about you.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, next time I catch up with you, I'm gonna tell you about him. And he got a radio program here in Richmond.
Oh, beautiful. Well, tell him to call me and interview me. Tell him he can call me.
He needs to listen to Ron March on Wednesday.
He needs to listen to our program on Wednesday. She's telling you right. Okay? Is he black or white?
He one of them Indian guys from down Charles City. I got him in my family too on my daddy's side. The good hair and high yellow. They saying they're Indians.
All right. What does he call himself? What is his nationality? What does he call himself?
One of them old Indian names.
Like what? I mean, are we talking about India from India? We talking about Indian on the horse. Whoa. One of them Indians.
Yeah. Like Big Chief, Little Chief, them type Indians.
Yeah. All right. Next time you see him, ask him why is his people on the reservation. Just ask him.
Say again?
When you see him again, ask him why is his people on the reservation.
Okay.
With the United States government that put them on a reservation. Just ask him that.
Yeah. But he troubled me, because seemed like he was protected, on the side of the enemy when he said that black president wasn't black, Everybody saying that, but that ain't true,
Yeah. That's okay. We don't have to be approved by him or anyone. We know what we know, and we're going to live with what we know. I don't care what they say. That don't bother me a bit. And I don't live back in that era, so I'm not going to sit up here and argue with him about the president's black, white, green, or purple. I know what's happening today, and I know where it come from, and I know how they did it. And they killed my people in order to get here. Deal with that. And I ain't signing no contract or treaty to go on nobody's reservation. The world is ghetto. All right.
Well, Ron,
that's it.
Another excellent show, and so we will be back again next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And your show, Ron Mark's show, is on Saturdays at what time?
4 o'clock p.m. Detroit time.
Okay.
Eastern Standard Time, 4 o'clock.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So,
all right, Beth, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Love, peace, truth. All right. Love, peace, truth, and justice.
Yes.
Peace.
Thank you, Ron.
All right. Bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye. Until next week, peace and much, much love.